asibingelele abalaleli beMathule Broadcasting Corporation igama nguThulani wakaNkaya. Siyazi ukuthi kunombidlango kunomkhankaso kuzoba nengqungquthela eyisimangaliso yeZAPU esicabanga ukuthi yiyo ezotshintsha ubuso beZAPU kusiya phambili. Izoqala ke nje ngale nyanga mhla ka-28. Bayakhankasa abantu bakhankasela izikhundla. Namhlanje we've got someone who is aspiring to be the Secretary General of ZAPU. Mnumzana Msebele, you can introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, yebo, yeah, ibizo nyo Future Msebele Zulu. Ngizalelwe eWange, ngakhuliswa koMsebele. Umsebele ungomalume ababuya ngapha emakhulela esayidini zePlumtree. Then oZulu besuke eJambezi. Yikho lapho engikhulele khona eWange, ngasuke eWange ngaya koBulawayo ngahlala nyana ngaqala isikolo ngaya eCholocho lapho engifunde khona kuGwayi eCholocho. Ngiqeda ukufunda uGwayi eCholocho primary up to grade 4 ngaya eMakhandeni primary, Makhandeni secondary, ngaqhubeka nje ngaze ngayofika eUSide Teachers College lapho engenze khona i-diploma in education ngisenza specializer ku mathematics. Yes.
Okay, siyazi ukuthi abantu bathi ayiZAPU igcwele ngabantu asebekhulile, kodwa ke siyakubona ukuthi wena hayi umutsha. Kodwa ke hayi kungaba ngongasitshela ukuthi umutsha kangakanani.
Hayi khona okwalesi sikhathi singabalelwa kupolitiki umuntu osesiyabamba i-40 years ukuthiwa mutsha, kodwa kwezinye indawo hayi uyabe sekhulile. So hayi ngiyabe lihlanganisa i-40 years nje. Isikhathi eside ngisichithe ngilapha ngise South Africa lapho ke ngafundisa i-mathematics ngaphinda aba ngu-principal wesikolo. Ngistarta njalo njoba kuhlala kufundwa usiqhutshwe yaseyaphambili. Ngistarte i-BA and Human and Social Sciences ku-Politics, Philosophy and Economics. Yikho lapho nje bese ngiqala ukuba le-orientation yepolitiki. So hayi bakhona abatsha kuZAPU. I'm sure there are quite a lot of young cadres kuZAPU.
Ngibuzwa usithi ngesikhathi maybe usenza lezi zifundo zakho eziphezulu kulapho oqale khona ukuthi ube ne-political orientation. Ngubisele maybe move kancane. iZAPU wena uyijoyine nini? Njalo i-political consciousness yakho did it only start when usenza izifundo eziphezulu na?
I-political consciousness kahle iqale ngise-USide Teachers College, where I was ku-SRC. Ngalesi sikhathi SRC bekusihlala si-organizer ama-protests ngoba bekuyisikhathi sosiqala khona ukubhadala e-college. Abangemva kwethu bebengakwenzanga lokho, kuqale ngathi. So it was isikhathi leso esasiqala ukubona i-difference between those who have and those who don't have. Ebese siqala ukubona ama-rights of individuals being trampled upon by the system. So laphana ngaba yimember yeBulawayo agenda at that time. Ngiyimember yeBulawayo agenda, we're pushing ama-interests abantu bakoBulawayo labantu bakithi nje in general. Then eUSide Teachers College ku-SRC, I then argued a lot on ukuthi yini kunabantu who come from other provinces besiba i-majority eUSide Teachers College. By then we were defining devolution of power before we got to these fancy words. So yaqala lapho nje political consciousness yaqala lapho nje ukuthi ngihlangane lamagama amakhulu amanye njalo Pius Ncube abangisizayo lapha college after being suspended at college ngendlela zenalezi, and I met abo Brilliance Kabade khona lapho who assisted me a lot nabo Gordon Moyo. So we come from that space. That's where I started to realize ukuthi yini politics. But by then, I would say this in Kokel, I was more of a Pan-Africanist. Say Pan-Africanist, and as an individual at that given time, I really subscribe to it. Then, when I go to South Africa, I started studying philosophy, politics, and economics. Then I got ZAPU. ZAPU isifohlile. I was one of the youth who joined ZAPU ngaleso sikhathi kuthiwa isifohlile. There were a lot of comrades by then. A lot of people, a lot of excitement in the air. Then were to come and join ZAPU, and they were thinking would be probably in the next elections we're going to be in parliament and all that. But well, revolution is not a sprint; it's a marathon actually. So it took time. But that's when we polished our ideological understanding. By then, I took quite a number of lessons. I started philosophy, politics, economics at a BA level. On the other side, in Amakomanisi, I'm studying communism with the SACP, getting these political lessons, and from our Ian Betos, and getting these political lessons and political education. So I come from that space, but also developing within ZAPU Pagati to understand our narratives around and they understand izinto ezenzakalayo.
Yeah, manje singazama ukuthi sikubhekisise nje sikunarowe kancane. Wena singathi ZAPU uyijoyine nini and usuyijoyinile. Kunama positions obwathethe lapho noma cha?
ZAPU ngijoyine pull out. I'm sure I might have came a bit late. Ngangena 2009 thereabout. I joined in 2009 and ngangisempumalanga, and I became a branch secretary when Pumalanga Youth Branch Secretary of Krobastal branch. Then we had elections. Then I got to be the secretary again of Middelburg, which happened to be a district in South Africa province. Then from there, later on, I contested and became a secretary for information and publicity with Youth Front. Then there was a chaos at a given time. Thereabout, some of our comrades in the Youth Front to quit the revolution or to join other parties. Then we remained in the revolution. We tried to rebuild. Then from there, I got to be a director where diaspora region, Youth Front diaspora region. Then I served there under Comrade Urafum Kuni as the Secretary General at a given time. Then I contested in the Youth Front in 2013. I contested in the Youth Front, then became the Secretary General of the Youth Front. Apparently, I served in that position for a year. Then our chairperson, decided to leave the party. I had to step in as the acting national chair of the Youth Front up to the Congress. Then after the Congress, I then went to the main wing where I became the acting secretary for policy. Then a year later, we went for a Congress. That was the last Congress, 2016. And then I became the Deputy Secretary for International Relations. So yeah, that's what I can say. That's my profile in ZAPU. That's what
okay,
those are the positions which I've held.
No, wezwakala baba nganthiwa hayi iZAPU kusho ukuthi uyayiqonda kahle. Uthe wena usakhula ubuyi-pan-Africanist.
Yes.
Manje usuyini?
Yeah, thanks, comrade. Umuntu evolves as you grow and you get to understand some of the things which you didn't understand at a given time. So at the beginning of my political consciousness, I was absorbed into Pan-Africanism, and then later on, I got into this space, Yamakomanisi, democratic socialism. I'll say scientific socialism. I took quite a lot of lessons with scientific socialism, and again, then I know scientific socialism is the same as democratic socialism. And I do understand and also appreciate democratic socialism, the social democracy. But where I stand right now, I'm a democratic socialist, and I think that's the way we can push, and that's my cosmic view of the revolution.
Okay, hayi kuhle kakhulu baba, kuhle kakhulu. Hayi i-involvement yakho ku-politics hayi iyezwakala kakhulu. Ucabanga ukuthi iZAPU ideologically kumele ilandele le ilokhuzeni yakho? Uthe what? Sengikhohliwe.
I said democratic socialism. No, not at all, Nkala, not at all. But well, I would love to persuade the party to that direction. But what I can say to you is that ZAPU is a broad church. As a liberation struggle, as a liberation party from the struggle, it understands the broadness of and the different perspectives which you find in a revolution. So if you look at ZAPU, let's go. If you can give me 2 minutes to look at how it evolved ideologically, I would say this.
That we could.
When it was formed, remember, just like all other struggles in Africa, the people who formed ZAPU, were pushing ZAPU, were more of elitists in the society. So at a given time, it was a broad church, but we broad church political orientation. All what they wanted was, we want our land back, which has been taken by Abelungu, and we also want to be respected, our rights to be respected. That was the basis of the struggle at the beginning. Then when you get to the 70s, or late 60s and early 70s, you realize the struggle for revolution in Africa was being persuaded by probably their sponsors, the Russians and the Chinese. So that's where you realize that socialism, that's where you have about ZAPU socialist pushing the organization to the left. But at any given time, it has always been the battle of ideas within ZAPU, where you push each other, whether to the left or the right. At this given time, I think we need to be pragmatic as we move forward and say, what is best for the party right now? And looking at how the parties ran, I'll push it, this human rightism which we adopted in Ghana. If you look at it, it's neither here nor there in the political spectrum. You can't say it's a leftist kind of an approach or a rightist. So look, when there are problems in Ghana when it comes to policy formulations. And remember, when we are formulating a policy, you need to be informed grossly by your ideological perspective. Where do you stand? Your philosophical, political philosophy. And it has to influence you. How do you come up with policies and all that? So I don't think, as we go to the Congress, this is what we're going to look at. I don't think and believe that human rightism encompasses everything which we can deal with. So I think we need to be more clear, ideological, so that we don't find ourselves being confused ngokuthi what exactly do we need, how do we want the structure to go. But when this is for, if I can say this is for those who understand political philosophies and ideologies. But the basis of the structure is what people want. Ukuthi abantu bayalamba bafuna ukudla, ukuthi ukudla kwangikhona kubuye kanjani etafuleni, bafuna ukudla kwalesi sikhathi. Abantu manje there is no energy ekhaya, amagetsi acinywa njalo nje, akula manzi izulu kodwa liyana, and infrastructure ingaleyo ndlela. So we need to look into that and say how best can we.
Baba Msebele, ithi ngikubuza umbuzo ngathi uzobanzinyana kodwa hayi ngicabanga ukuthi ngegrounding, i-political grounding onayo uzokwazi ukuphendula. ZAPU uma uyibheka manje ikusiphi stage of development?
Yeah, ngikala eqinisweni ukuthi all political parties go through a life cycle. Where an introduction, there's a lot of hype and all that. Even a period of growth. Then a period of growth, that's where a party is equals ukuthi meleni ama challenges amanye sihlangane lawo. If you have maturity stage, then it will decline. Then when my singena good declining stage, we need to recycle it. And now in recycling, ZAPU yilokho esikumele sibe sikhona test in so many sicabanga ukuthi how do we go back to this cycle, and how do we rebrand ZAPU to get to a level where it can meet ama challenges akhona kumphakathi. And so we are at a stage, white crossroads enkala. A white crossroads is either ZAPU sisiya ku Congress silanda ukuyayingcwaba, or it's either we're going to come up with policies as ayivusa. Party ama-Russia asifundisile nkala ukuthi without a revolutionary theory there cannot be a revolution. Yonke into iqala ngalokho elikumeleyo, without ukuthi lidefine ukuthi limeleni kakuhle, lingobani limeleni, lingawubanga umsindo umnyaka wonke kungela change. So i-Congress is not all about elections. Congress is about policy discussions. It gives us an opportunity to say discuss our policy, and we know exactly what needs to be done.
Yeah, I think ngendlela lokubeka ngakhona ngizwa ukuthi angubuza ukuthi kati wena ngokucabanga kwakho uma siza kule nto kuthiwa yi-rebranding and repositioning, what is your view? Ubona kumele kwenziweni?
Nkala siye la ku rebranding. Ngizaqala njoba ngiyakutshela ekuqaleni ukuthi I've been a teacher for many years, so ngizaqala ngofaka i-example.
All right.
Oqala yikuthi asikhangele i-Roman Catholic for instance. I-church liyana ile close to 2000 years. But in every generation itholile isikhathi sokuthi is rebrand to meet ama needs, to meet ama material conditions of that given time. That's why it has remained relevant for 2000 years. So an idea cannot die, a philosophy cannot die, but it needs to be rebranded as we move with times and gets to ukuthi ihlangane lalokho okabe kukhangelwa ngabantu ngaleso sikhathi in every generation. So ku rebranding kulento ezingu-3 okumele sizikhangele masi rebranda iparty. Okokuqala iparty yi-leader yayo esikhangelayo.
Yeah.
Ngama policies e-party. Ama policies e-party they play a pivotal role in rebranding and in modernizing the party. Then sesikhangela lokuthi i-party yona in practice does it get to the people here? What is the relationship between party labantu? Because what we normally do at a given time, a political party becomes an elitist movement divorced from the majority of people. At a given time. We need to see a party is involved on a day-to-day struggles of our people. This is basically through involved in residents associations. This is basically through being involved with student struggles. This is being involved with workers' union movements. This is being involved with what is happening in Pagatini, be it traditional and cultural movements which are there. So that is the last part in Kalengai. So we need to make sure that as a party, we get involved in these struggles, day-to-day struggles of our people. Then the second part, Nama policies. If you look at Zimbabwe policies, you would realize that our political parties that divided Kulama ZANU-PF policies on the other side, and the party which have been formed will follow our ZANU-PF policies. They just duplicate the manifesto, which the English is different manifesto. Abanye bathatha manifesto lay MDC or whatever being the other party, big party. Remember there are big parties in Zimbabwe. Then abanye lama parties those 150 labo sebengena lapana bathathe same, they've got the same manifesto abantu political parties which you find a card. So now why do we have to get worried? Tina ZAPU, we should come up with a third way as we go to this Congress and define ourselves and come up with our policies which are going to rebuild the party, which are going to be which are going to talk to the struggles of our people. Which are going to talk to the struggles of our people. This is very important. Our people should be involved in our struggles.
Yeah.
Then the last part in card, which abantu abazamukuthi bayibalekele. The last part emele sikhulume.
Yeah.
Yi-leader ye-party. Yi-leader ye-party in card. I-leader ye-party, it is true. Research wonke asekayenziwa ayakhomba ukuthi i-leader ye-party transfers its image to the party. I-leader radical, the whole party becomes radical. I-leader intelligence supremo, the whole party goes underground. I-leader ye-party ihlali angry khuluma into zokulwa vele izondile, the whole party azonde. And so i-leader ye-party, i-personality ye-leader ye-party, remember i-leader ye-party actually yiyo okokuqala uthi mawubuza ngeparty ukuthi party nguyini ucabanga yona.
Yeah.
So it will make sense ukuthi ma ule population where you have got the majority of the electorate, besiba 70% of our population is less than 50 years. It would be unwise, my leader, to have a leader ongekho age group which will inspire those people.
And which age group inspire abantu abakuleyo?
Less than 50, comrade.
Oh, okay.
Less than 50, comrade. If you look at anyone, we are looking at our voters and the electorate was saying, when we're looking at the leader, you look at the credibility of the leader. We look at the attractiveness of the leader. We look at the personality. Is it in line with the, in general, with the overall political trends? Then if it's in line with the overall political trends, then Kokeli, that person can actually win your votes.
All right. I'm going to ask you a very
I'm not suggesting any leader.
I'm asking a very controversial question.
Yes.
Yeah. We know what the presidential is up right now. Is heavily contested.
Yes, it is.
Wena ngokubona kwakho kulawa ama leaders akhona manje. What's your view?
No, what I can say, Kokeli, Yuguti, right now, I'm contesting for the Secretary General position. And whoever wins or is elected by the party, if I win, I will have to work with the comrade.
Yeah.
So at this given time, I'm not going to announce or go on top of a mountain which leader I think is the best, because I'll be creating a slate. We are against slates in ZAPU. We are against slates in ZAPU. But basically, I have defined what gives me confidence. But I'm not going to say which leader, because I'm told some leaders are young at heart. Some leaders and all that. So I'm not going to say, I don't know who I'm going to vote for. Definitely, I do know who I'm going to vote for.
Yeah.
And basically, I cannot get into discussing that, because at the end of the day, I will need to work with whoever wins the elections.
Okay.
Let me address this in Nkala before we move. ZAPU Nkala isesencane for ama-slate. Right now, what we're doing, we need to look for the best leader.
Maybe before uthi uqhubeke mawungachazela abantu ukuthi slate yini, maybe banga understand.
All right. Slate, yes, it's a political word. Slate ukuthi umuntu kathi hayi kabe kulamaphepha abhaliweyo lapha eceleni ukuthi hayi upresident hambani lo A, uvice president ngu-B, u-SG ngu-C, u-treasurer general ngu-D, and u-national chair ngu-E. Then after doing that, umuntu akasela, ama-voters asela free will ukuthi avotele u-A alandelwa ngu-X. Kasakhona ukuvota outside the prescribed and proscribed list. Lokhu kwenza abanye Nkala, abanye who might not be having a capacity, but because they are close to comrade A, then they try to ride on the wave of comrade A. And say, mina ngenxa yokuthi ngiduze lo bani, so hayi amavoti kabani ngawami, lami ngizathola yena lawo. We have seen this in quite a number of parties where would destroy our party, where a party will end up losing a good cadre because the cadre did not align with A or B or C.
Yeah.
So we are at a level where we cannot afford slates, we cannot afford factions. What we can do is to say, who is the best candidate for president? Who is the best candidate for deputy, and like that. Unfortunately, if our presidential candidates or those are winner of president encourages in the slate, then we have factions. Then it won't work. It won't work, and it will not work.
But do you feel that kind of a scenario is developing?
I'm speaking with the authority of an angel that right now, that's the atmosphere. We are having slates, and that doesn't work, and it won't work, and it will destroy the party. The party is going to lose hard-working cadres, dedicated cadres, loyal cadres, because of slate politics.
Okay, all right. Manje asingene ke manje kulolu daba lokuba ngu-Secretary General. Why ucabanga ukuthi wena you are the best suitable or suited person for the position eka Secretary General we-party ZAPU right now?
Okokuqala, Comrade Nkala, ukuthi i-position ka-Secretary General aso position yokuthi uyabona umuntu edlule emgwaqweni le uyadlula emgwaqweni bese limnxusa hey ozoba ngu-secretary. Ayiso position yokuthi umuntu ufike laphana wama phezu kwentaba wakhuluma isikhiwo esimnandi sesimbiza woza woba ngu-Secretary General. Akunjalo le position. I-position ka-Secretary General is the engine of the party. It needs someone who understands ubuthakathi balapha ekhaya. Ozokwazi ukuthi no phela okwenza sifike to this level is because komoshakale laphaya. Sathi sizama ukulungisa laphana ubani bathi lokhu kuzenza so yikho kukunje namuhla. Zindaba ezifuna ukuthi in a home setup asondaba zabo malukazana. Abaswezathi befika bevakatshile basanda kuthathwa sebengena sebesithi kathi wayilingcwaba ngapha lingangcwabile. So it needs someone, in short, it needs someone who understands the political dynamics of a given party. So I believe, having told you where I served, where I come from, I believe I'm the best candidate at this given juncture to lead the party, Secretary General in that office. Yes.
So when let's say ungawina ku Congress, ama priorities akho imaphi?
Ngingakafiki kuma priorities.
All right.
I need to say this. We need also to look at kathi vele i-problem ingaphi lapha ekhaya.
All right. That's fine.
Okokuqala, we need to look at okay problem ikuphi, and I will say okwalesi isikhathi the center does not hold. Umhlambi kaze lusile. Ungumhlambi kaze lusile nje kwenza ukuthi loba mbani abuye gijima khulume lokho uyakhulume lokhana, and is one of the most let me use that word, but I would say we will need to work on a discipline party first, because konke nje makumhlambi kaze lusile, the center does not hold to communication from that office to all other structures and our organs is not good. And usukhangela futhi ukuthi nguyini problem. Right now we don't even know our membership. How many members do we have? Right now we do have quite a number of problems. I think we are more of a reactionary party. At a given time, I'm not sure we do have a year plan, and we are not coming up with tactics and strategies to grow the party, or we're missing these opportunities to grow the party. That's why we said we want to renew the party, want to reform the party, want to rebrand the party. We want to ideologically reposition the party. Because ama problems lawo engikhulume ngawo manje, i-party ngeke i-function if engalungiswanga. So going to your second question, or it was your first question, ensuke ngase ngidlulisa. Yes, going to that question, okokuqala is that first we need to be clear ideologically. Lokhu doesn't affect abantu abaningi, but we need to be clear ideologically so that whatever we say, we are clear of what we are talking about. Our policies are clear. That has to be done with Congress. Kungabi Congress yokucula nje, but we need to look at our policies. Then the second part we need to look at is we need to modernize our institutions. For example, right now, we are having this kind of an interview, and we have been interviewing our candidates. It could have been done in-house. We need to modernize our party institutions. We need to make sure that our deployment, the way we deploy the cadres in our party, talks to their strengths. Right now, the most powerful organ in the party is the Council of Elders. Yet the Council of Elders, one qualifies by age, nothing else. When you get to this age, the Council of Elders, then it needs to be workshopped, because our decisions which they were taking anzima kakhulu. So they need to be workshopped, the Council of Elders. And maybe we need to review some of these duties we have given them, such as the Elections Committee. The Elections Committee, shouldn't we have an independent Elections Committee which will run all the elections? In our Council of Elders, these are some of the discussions which we're supposed to be having. Then the issue of rebranding, 2013, we talked about, let's modernize the party. Apart from the policies, let's have a fresh face to contest. The Youth Front met in Harare, year 2013. We took a resolution that President Utabengwa should not run in the next coming elections, 2013 elections. But we should have a presidential candidate. The vice president at that given time, told us to leave Harare and make that pronouncement outside Harare, because she was the youngest in the presidium. So it meant maybe she was afraid that maybe some people might misconstrue the whole thing. But we understood a point, but we announced that in Harare. We met with Dabenga and we told him, Dabenga, you can't run for elections. It will be good to go to face elections, run as presidential candidate. Then we went for a by-election in 2015. We had a similar problem. Then we raised it our matter. 2015 by-elections go I think we had the oldest candidates. And we are saying that the majority of voters are less than 70. They do not relate with you. So that was one of the problems. So rebranding, uDabengu also wafika esikhathini ukuthi agcine sekhuluma ngamajongos. Ukuthi hayi ake lidinga amajongos. And yiwo amajongos akhona thina nkani.
Yeah.
Yiwo nalapho.
So center does not hold.
The center does not hold.
Kuqale nini lo?
I would say, Kala, this takes me to the second issue. It does not only deal with the administration. Otherwise, it was going to be the Secretary for Administration. But it is the Secretary General, meaning that it plays two roles. One, it plays the administrative role, and the second one, it plays a political role in the organization. Administrative role, everyone talks about it. There must be transparency in the office of the Secretary General, the communication, office of the Secretary General and out of the Secretary General, a two-way kind of communication should be encouraged. There should be an open door policy, and our organs and our wings and our structures should all be aware of what is happening in one department or the other. We should be proactive. This is what everyone can say. But then there can be also a political side where you say the SG runs the party on a day-to-day basis. To be proactive, it means one has to come up with the calendar of events for the whole year. One has to come up with proactive ideas. and make sure that we lead in the struggle. How do we come up with a program which includes the SRCs?
Yeah.
How do you capacitate the youth front to make sure that they get to every university? During my time, we used to say 1 university, 1 branch. That every college should have a ZAPU branch, every university should have a ZAPU branch, and we make sure that the ZAPU members are in the SRCs. How do we have ZAPU working with workers' unions? We are being proactive.
Yeah.
We are pushing the boundaries. We are involved in the day-to-day struggles. So that is the political side which can be led from that office. And also our wings. When we talk of our wings, we talk of ZAU, we talk of Youth Front, the affiliate is ZIPRA. ZIPRA is an affiliate, and how do we work with them on their struggles, on their day-to-day struggles, on their issues as well? How to capacitate that? We should be working from the center.
Okay.
We shouldn't be having youth, don't see ZIPRA. The center should hold at every given time.
Yeah. Baba Msebele.
Yeah.
Uke kwaba ngesikhathi uDr. Ralph Mkhuni engu-Secretary General.
Yes.
Abantu besola kakhulu ukuthi hayi no usekudeni man use-UK. Wena njengoba use-South Africa ungawina ukuba ngu-SG uzokwenza njani?
Okokuqala ukurelocate siyekhaya is what we are working on right now. If I win elections, definitely I'll relocate to Zimbabwe. Ngokokuqala. But okwesibili, we should be fair in our argument. We should be fair in our argument. Okwesibili ukuthi I've attended quite a number of meetings in South Africa and told abasuke eHarare bengakafiki. Ngendiza South Africa, I think it's 2 hours. Zimbabwe is 2 hours. It's 1 hour away. Taking away check-in and check-out. So Magule issue agent, I think it can be attended to. And I'm also, a part of me feels I would want to get to the argument, but a part of me feels that corona is fundise izinto eziningi.
Yeah.
Is fundise ukubamba ama meetings online. Is fundise ukuthi physical meeting is not necessary. I don't need to be in UK to be in your show. You see, I'm in my bedroom, and I think you're also in your bedroom there. so and we can have this lovely kind of a discussion. So I'm thinking the issue of a distance. Well, if we have got systems in place and structures in place, it's not an issue. But well, be it as it may, when I'm also prepared at any given time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Baba Msebele, ngizonikeza abantu ithuba abakhona ukuthi uma benembuzo bekubuze kancane. But before that, uma ungadliwa ukuba ngu-SG, are you going to still remain uzaphu?
Well, okokuqala ukuthi ngizakhuluma okwenzakala emuva. At one given time, South African province, Youth Front, ayingavumelani le decision eyayithethwe yi-party. And quite a number of comrades resigned. I remained in the party.
Yeah.
Then again, Sahamba Futekaya, where I was at the center of the controversy, where I was elected by all provinces to lead the Youth Front as the national chair. And well, unconstitutionally, our elders took a certain decision. And South Africa walked out of that conference. As a member of South Africa, I walked out with them. Then we came to South Africa. A number of comrades left the party. Then I went to persuade them and say, comrades, there is what we call democratic centralism. If a higher structure takes a decision, ongavumelani layo, well, you are bound by that decision and you have to defend that decision. So this will be probably the third time yokuhlangana lento engabe ngicabanga ukuthi ayihambi kahle. But ekugcineni I will say this ukuthi ikusasa ngiyazi angafiki kusasa. But engikhulumela khona emuva angizange ngishiye iphathi, but angazi ukuthi this time what am I going to do? But I've got a history of what I've met such kind of stuff and I've managed to look on. But before we see Pavanto, I need to clarify one point.
All right.
Because I see there's a message which popped in, probably in Pendle.
All right.
That someone can serve a party regardless of the age. The age ayikho constitution. Even if people decide to vote for a 99-year-old, that's fine, because people voted for that. But I was saying, when you are rebranding the party, you look at the policies of the party, amongst many other things, you look at the perspective which abantu abalikhangelele ngakhona, and you look at the leader of the party. And right now, because the majority of our people are less than 70% of the electorate, it's not that we're obsessed about the age, but we're saying, can't we get a leader around that age who would actually relate with these people? We don't want to structure says ZAPU, kube yinto ukuthi abantu babe every time bakhuluma ngemagojini. Umuntu ungakhuluma ngeZAPU secabanga eZambia Freedom Camp and all that. Not that it's not necessary, it is, but we need to look at, it's time to attract people. I think there are a lot of young cadres capable of leading the struggle. And of course, those who are young at heart too.
Na yini abantu abangabathanda ukuthi bembuzo ubaba Msebele noma benze any comment ngalokho akukhulumileyo uma ekhona lingangena ngoba hali baningi kangaka ukuthi ngaze lifuna ukuphakamisa izandla ngenani ngizoliqama ukuthi abanayo imibuzo kusho uyiphendulile imibuzo yabo yonke. Kuhle hayi uma lingenayo imibuzo bakwethu kulungile. Baba Msebele, you are facing a very stiff challenge. Baba ulokuza uhana. What is your view on the competitor?
All right. I don't think it would be fair for me to talk about him and all that. And I'm told he is a ZAPU comrade. I'm told he loves ZAPU. I'm told he wants izinto zikhambe kahle kuZAPU like I do. I'm not going to comment on his strengths or weaknesses because angizazi. All what I can say, Uti, at this given time, I think I'm the best candidate to lead the party from that office. That's what I can say. Then there is a question here from I think
Yeah.
Okay. But I've been part of this field executive. Okokuqala ukuthi there is what we call democratic centralism in a party. If you are not, if you serve in the NEC, for example, You can differ legal NEC. You spend the whole night. You discuss the whole night, and then the majority takes a certain view. You are bound by the party to defend that view they've taken. You cannot then say, after the meeting, then you say, no, Msebele, I mean, as Msebele, I don't, actually, I was against a decision. You can't do that. But as a disciplined cadre, you have to defend that decision outside because it won Ilokunja at the day. It was the majority decision taken. So you can have different views with the leadership, but if a majority ikhuluma ukuthi indlela nansi ethathwayo, well, this is a democracy and a democratic party, then we'll follow what the majority says.
But Baba Msebele, umuntu uthi executive or team enale ebi iyo ekhokhela iZAPU manje obuyiphathi yayo ayenzanga kahle. Wena, what was your contribution kuleyo party? Kukhona owake waphikisana nakho owawukubona ukuthi yikho lokho kwenza ukuthi iZAPU ingayiphambili noma cha uvumelana nakho konke?
This is exactly what I'm saying, comrade Nkai. Maybe ngiyexpande kahle lento ethiwa democratic centralism. I-democratic centralism it decision mayingakathathwa lihleli kuyi-meeting liyadebata kabanzi ngalokho okukhulunywayo at that given time. Selidebate kabanzi ngalokho okukhulunywayo at that given time, then bese kuyavotwa if you did not reach i-consensus. Maso kuvotiwe, then i-decision esithethwe singe-organization esengeyakho. Then you cannot come out of that meeting and say, angivumelani the leadership on this or that, or lapana ngivumelani the leadership. So, and right now, I'm not going to be tempted again. No, lapana ngati bona vati. But at the end of the day, is if I'm currently a deputy for NEC, I'm a deputy with international relations. I don't sit in the presidency. I argue njengabanye ababe bekhona ku NEC meeting, labo NPC meeting. Then decisions are taken. Then I'm bound by those decisions.
Angithi uyayibona le imbuzo empili esibuziwe lapho uma ungayiphendula.
Angayiboni kahle. Let me.
ZAPU needs the best irrespective of age. How it will grow out of the age dogma, my father. Then can you tell us your qualifications you have for the SG post?
All right. Okay. I think the one I would answer. I'm trying to look for it here. I think my charts. Am I right?
Yeah, my charts.
Yes. Yeah. Now the comrade. I think I've explained this 3 times. I'm going to explain it again. Is that we said anyone can be voted in, even in the 99 years. That's why we talked of those young at heart. There are some young at heart. They can be voted in. It's a majority. When you get this democracy, the majority will vote for whoever, then whoever wins. We are bound by our principles that will support whoever wins. Then I said, my view is that when we get to this level, we need someone who's going to be attractive to the masses. The masses need to identify with that person. That's why we talk of this period as an authentic transition. because izinto azizenzeli nje ka-one ukuthi namhla kuvuke sokulalo sokwenzakele. Yes, we might have someone who's a bit old and all that, but it's time for us to look at young leaders coming in and taking up serious roles of leadership. Because the majority of voters are young. This is what we've said. But if ZAPU ingavotela someone who's 120 years old, that's fine. That's what the majority has said, and we are bound by that decision. We will support the comrade.
Ngiyakuzwa baba. But impeke kathi le enye comment itheni le ugcina le. Ama qualifications awufuna ukuyiphendula.
I think we talked about it at the
beginning.
We
talked about that. Makuyikuthi ufuna ama academic qualifications. Ngicabanga ukuthi maybe ukhuluma ngama qualities that you have as a person to qualify you for the SG post.
Well, anyone to serve as a Secretary General of the party needs to understand the internal dynamics of the party, and I believe I do understand the internal dynamics of the party. Anyone who serves as the Secretary General should at least be at a level where one can deal with conflict resolutions and all that in the political side of the position. And I believe I have done that. I believe I do have that kind of skill, and as well, one has to have a wider view, have contacts with other sister organizations around us, and I do have that. I've worked actually 5 years later. I've been in the Deputy of International Relations. I do have some relations with the comrades in the SSAP, the comrades in the ANC, the comrades in BNF, the comrades in Mozambique. So we do have contacts and the other comrades abroad. So we do have contacts and all that. So I think basically we are not reinventing the wheel. The foundation has been built. Whoever takes over the party right now should know the foundation has been built, and work is so good from where the second administration has done.
Okay, Baba Msebele mbona isikhathi esidliwe nguMangolo. Kodwa ke ngicela ukuthi ukhulume nabantu ubatshele ukuthi kungani kumele bakuvotele wena. Khuluma nabantu kube ngama closing remarks akho baba.
Our closing remarks is that as we go to the Congress, we should have the party at heart. Having the party at heart means that we need to get there. We don't only discuss who has to be in this position or the other, but we also discuss party policies. We also come up with a roadmap of what is to be done in the next 5 years to the next Congress. And I believe at this given juncture, Ogoti, looking at the positions I've served in ZAPU as a starting point, looking at the growth which we've had from the youth front up to now, we believe that it's time for us to give umhlahlandlela in these discussions and get to push the revolution to the right direction. And right now, there's a lot of talk about splitting the party, about the factions, about and I just want to warn my comrades that this will destroy the party. The party is not at a level where we can have factions. It is not at a level where we can have slats. It is at a level where we have to sit down and make sure that we come up with the best candidate for a certain position. On that, definitely the party will grow and we'll win a few seats as we go forward.
Okay, no, siyabonga kakhulu Baba Msebele. Siyathemba ukuthi sizobuya sikwazi ukuthi sixoxisane nawe. Asibonge kakhulu Nchele. Kade bekhona kade bebuza imibuzo nabangabuzanga imibuzo, kodwa ke nabanye abazoyilalela futhi i-recording yethu. Asibonge kakhulu baba, sizobuya futhi sithintane. Sibonge kakhulu.
Hayi siyabonga Ndu.